Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. I have a special story for you today. It is one that I love, love, love. I've read it to all of my children. And when I taught school, I read it to all of those children too. And now I want to read it to you. I don't know if you've seen it before. It's called Caps for Sale. This is a story about a peddler, there he is, who sells caps, and a lot of little monkeys and their monkey business. That's what he looked like. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had on his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps and a bunch of brown and a bunch of blue, and on the very, very top were the red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight, so not as to upset the caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps for sale, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps for sale, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And he walked out of town slowly, slowly, so not to upset the caps on his head. He walked for a long time until he came to a big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," he thought, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back a little against the tree trunk, so not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand up to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps and the brown caps and the blue and the red ones at the very top. They were all there. So he went to sleep. Do you think you could sleep like that? He slept a long time. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. Oh dear. He looked to the right of him, no caps. To the left, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey, and on every monkey was a gray cap or a brown or a blue or a red cap. That's funny. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. So finally he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking his finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you, give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both of their fists at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." Now he felt quite angry. He stomped his foot. He said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stomped their feet and said, "Tss, tss, tss." By this time, the peddler was really very angry. He stomped both feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stomped both their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." At last he became so angry he pulled his own cap off his head and threw it to the ground, and he began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. And all the gray caps, the brown caps, the blue and the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First, his own checked cap, then the gray caps and the brown and the blue caps, and on the very top, the red caps. And slowly, slowly he walked back to town calling, "Caps for sale, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end. Well, that was some monkey business going on there, but at least he got his caps back. I hope you like this story. I've always loved it. So, hope you have a wonderful day today, and I'll be talking to you, telling you another story tomorrow. Bye-bye.